Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Following the summit, leaders gather at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel for the Asean-New Zealand Gala lunch, a continuation of the day's celebration of friendship. And now the arrival of the Honourable Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia. Together with ASEAN heads of states and governments.
Excellencies, may we ask you to please turn to the back of the room for a group photo.
just now an iconic performance to welcome all heads of states and governments for the Gala
Ngā mihi. Thank you, Excellencies, Your Majesty, esteemed guests, e noho. Please be seated. O tēnā tātou, I aku rangatira. What a wonderful way to start our celebration together. You have just experienced an award-winning kapahaka performance. The kapahaka o Ngāti Whakaue is a Māori performance group from an iwi or tribe in the central North Island of New Zealand. Ngāti Whakaue were first-time supreme winners of the long-running national Māori performance competition and the biggest Indigenous festival in the Southern Hemisphere, Te Matatini o Te Kāhui Maunga, and we are delighted that this 2025 winning kapahaka has joined us here in Kuala Lumpur. Please join me in appreciation of their excellence. O tēnā koutou anō hoki e te whānau, he tohu nui tēnei rā mō te haerenga ngātahi o ASEAN, me Aotearoa, I rima te koutou o te whakawhanaungatanga o te hononga e kaha tonu ana I nei rā. Ko Miriam Makamo ahau. So my name is Miriam Makamo, and I'm your MC for this very special event. Today we celebrate a significant milestone, 50 years of dialogue relations between ASEAN and New Zealand. It is my honour to acknowledge His Majesty, His Royal Highness, Excellencies, Heads of State and Heads of Government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us today as we reflect on 5 decades of friendship, collaboration and the shared values that have strengthened our ties across trade, education, culture and innovation. We'd like to share a few reflections on this enduring partnership, showing how our relationship has grown over these past 50 years.
Over the last 50 years, New Zealand's engagement with Southeast Asia has developed enormously.
Their relationship with the ASEAN region has continued to go from strength to strength. We're doing more and more together. We've leapt in with local expertise, bring what we know, and end up with this great 1 + 1 = 5.
I can't think of anything more valuable than having friendships and business connections throughout Southeast Asia.
I'm a past recipient of Madani New Zealand scholarship. I feel New Zealand is my second country and I learn a lot. You have good acknowledgement of Maori community.
New Zealand is a melting pot of cultures. I didn't feel like I'm so far away from home.
New Zealand's relationship with ASEAN as an organisation and the Southeast Asian countries individually are going to become our most important diplomatic relationships.
What is next for us? How do we supercharge what is already a great relationship into something that's deep, meaningful and impactful for our own communities and for the communities beyond us?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It is now my great pleasure to invite to the stage the Right Honourable Christopher Luxon, Prime Minister of New Zealand.
Salamat Tengah Hari, kia ora, ka nui te mihi kia koutou. Good afternoon, everybody. It is so good to see you all. Leaders, Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'd just like to first acknowledge Prime Minister Anwar of Malaysia for your so generous hosting and for your leadership of ASEAN as chair in the last year. I also just want to acknowledge Prime Minister Ching from Vietnam and say thank you very much for the vital and constructive role that you have played last year as New Zealand's ASEAN country coordinator as well. And to all the ASEAN leaders and representatives, thank you for joining us here today to celebrate this major milestone of 50 years of ASEAN-New Zealand dialogue relations. Now, like many New Zealanders, I deeply appreciate the importance of ASEAN to my own country and to the security and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific. Southeast Asia is a vibrant, dynamic region, and often it is ASEAN that acts as a connector of our peoples and our economies. In March 2024, I was just 4 months into my current role when Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese very kindly invited me to my very first ASEAN leaders meeting in Melbourne. And I want to say thank you, Anthony, for that invitation and for our friendship, and it's just wonderful to have you here with us this afternoon as well. At the time, I told many of you that my government was determined to lift the urgency and the intensity and energy that we bring to our relationships across Southeast Asia. We'd only just met then, so I would have been forgiven, many of you, for thinking that we were sceptical about it. But 18 months later, and after more than 40 visits to the region by myself and my ministers, it should be obvious that I was deeply serious. And I welcome that many of you have come to visit us in New Zealand as well, including recently. It has been one of the great honours of being New Zealand's Prime Minister to have met so many of you now multiple times and to have formed close personal relationships that truly serve the interests of our countries and our people. New Zealand's formal relationship with ASEAN began 50 years ago when we became a dialogue partner. And since then, our relationship has grown from strength to strength. We have deep connections between communities and education and culture, and business and between our defence establishments. The pillars of our relations, peace, prosperity, planet and people, speak to its breadth and to its importance. ASEAN and New Zealand now enjoy people-to-people links in almost every facet of life. Our trade and our economic growth is an indicator of that change. We trade in 3 days now what we did in all of 1975. And so the comprehensive strategic partnership we established in our summit less than an hour ago excitingly sets a new direction for our future. We will be setting high expectations and seeking to take our relationship to new heights, including through biennial ASEAN-New Zealand summits, closer collaboration across emerging sectors, and of course continued support for ASEAN-led mechanisms. So again, can I say thank you for joining us here today to celebrate this milestone. And in the spirit of manaakitanga, a Māori term for hospitality and mutual respect, and as comprehensive strategic partners, we invite you to enjoy New Zealand cuisine and New Zealand performances that we have in store for you this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prime Minister. It is now my great pleasure to invite to the stage His Excellency Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Enjoy your lunch. Thank you, Prime Minister Christopher Luxon, the New Zealand team, Your Highness, colleagues, I'm here just to assure you that we'll continue, and we have benefited immensely from this enduring partnership with New Zealand, and we are extremely excited, new commitments, renewed commitments again, and as you have heard yourself in the Asean-New Zealand Summit, that all of us, with the exception, with this consensus, we want this to be further enhanced. And that means precisely to support all your initiatives, because even within ASEAN, we are now focusing on intra-ASEAN investments and trade, and we expand, of course, to New Zealand. We'll cross over Australia from time to time. Don't need to worry about it, certainly. Thank you, Banis. So enjoy your lunch, and thank you. This enduring partnership has been for 50 years. And the last 50 years, looking at the notes from 1977, here, we have not encountered any serious problems. Well, I'm not assuming that there have been problems, but naturally, we consider you a great friend, a great team, and I have no doubt that our colleagues in ASEAN share my sentiments. So thank you again, thank you for the lunch, and bon appetit.
As the luncheon begins, the guests enjoy the renowned hospitality and fusion cuisine, a culinary symbol of connection between cultures.
We do invite you now to put yourself into our hands. In Aotearoa, New Zealand, kai or food is central to Madani.
With that, that's all for now, and we shall see you on our next session.